Check, 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 check. How's that sound? Yeah, I'm just gonna take these earphones out my ears because I'm hearing myself speak enough anyway, so I don't think that it's necessary for me to, yeah, be hearing that extra loud. So I just feel like I should rotate this a little bit. Oh. Yeah, I don't want you to see my ceiling. Anyway, oh shit, opening quote. Sorry about this. I'm actually going to take an opening quote from Leonardo da Vinci, and this was something that was pertinent to me not only because of my recent real life experience, but my brothers, we have a group chat on Instagram, and oftentimes it's just to share memes and stuff, and I really like that as a form of interaction, but recently, yeah, we've been putting quotes up on there as well, and the quotes are really good. Where is it? Alright, yeah, here we go. So the quote is from Leonardo da Vinci. The quote goes like this: "Learning is the only thing the mind never exhausts, never fears, and never regrets." Roll the intro.
One of the meat and my steamer is broke. Fuck the oblique turn peak of the soul. Beast never know what's about to occur, but my zen getting rolled at the turn of your words. One of the meat and my steamer is broke. Fuck the oblique turn peak of the soul. Beast never know what's about to occur, but my zen getting rolled at the
Yeah, it's just it's a quote that's true to life. Learning is one of the most fulfilling, empowering, and important things. Learning is a key foundational thing to life. That's why we spend pretty much the first quarter of our lives doing only that. Well, not only that, but that's like the main focus of what we're doing, and that's the main focus of what I'm doing these days, really. And that's true for my education in terms of the formal institutional stuff, being at university, but I think it's just still true for life. I think if you're in a state of mind where you're trying to learn and you're looking to learn, then, or at least I'll speak for myself, then I feel like I get more out of the experience, And yeah, as I mentioned previously before, it's a bit redundant, but in any case, as I mentioned previously, learning stuff on the guitar has been really empowering and exciting and emboldening. I never regret, I'm never exhausted by it. I'm glad for any time that I can make for it. And yeah, just it would have been last night. Would it? Am I stupid? No. Yeah, it would have been last night. Sorry, it's been a weird time. But yeah, last night I went to a dance class, a Sorok dance class, and like I was a little bit nervous beforehand because I'd never done anything like that, and it's a little bit intimidating. I guess there's a sense of like, if you're dancing with someone you haven't danced before, and it's like one of these kind of like, I hesitate to use the term formal, but it's like, you're dancing with a partner. There's some sort of like intimacy there that's not what I'm used to, at least I'll tell you that much. And yeah, I ended up having so much fun. It was like crazy how much I enjoyed it. And really, it was just, it was a bunch of like, the demographic was mostly older people, and they were just very welcoming, very nice. And the music and the style of dance that it was isn't something that I was used to or familiar with, but I had a lot of fun with it. And yeah, just experiences like that remind me why learning and trying new things and stepping out of your comfort zone is so important, because a lot of growth and a lot of important things happen outside of your comfort zone. It's just the case that I like my comfort zone. I spend a lot of time there, that's where I am right now. But in a certain sense, I guess, I'm oftentimes trying to share a little bit more than I feel like I might be willing to, in the sense that, this is true for filmmaking. I remember seeing, I think it's a Tarantino quote, he said something like, you should write a script that's so personal that it feels embarrassing to share, As not to say that I find any of this information embarrassing, but, I'm aware that, in a sense, I feel vulnerable at times, I'm talking about my emotions, my experiences, how I feel about the world. And yeah, I'm realizing now, looking at the monitor, that I look hella dramatic because I had a friend put on some eyeliner following a discussion where they said, oh, you could look good with some eyeliner. And I was like, I think so too. But I'm a little bit unconvinced. In any case, I thought it'd be fun. Yeah, so that's what's been going on with me. And I can't lie, like, So if I'm to recount yesterday, so today's Thursday, yesterday, Wednesday. Oh no, I'm going crazy. All right. So this period of consciousness started on a Wednesday. It's now Thursday because I'm up past midnight. But this period of consciousness was a Wednesday. But if I cycle back another day before that, the Tuesday of this week was by far one of the best days I've ever lived in my life. And it would have been last episode of the episode before where I talked about how some days I wake up and shit feels difficult, you know. It's difficult to get out of bed. It's difficult to brush my teeth. It's difficult to make a good breakfast. It's difficult to do whatever. But there are some days, very, very few. Well, I wouldn't say very, very. I'd say less than, well, just not that many. But there are some days where everything in life for me feels like perfect harmony. And it's not to say that everything goes well or that anything spectacular happens. It's just the way I feel about myself and my life. Just it feels like an eclipse, you know, where everything lines up perfectly. And I was woke up and, you know, had a pretty normal morning. I just was walking to uni to do some work and I just felt like absolutely amazing, like in every sense. Like just felt happy and confident and, you know, I don't even like the cold, and yet everything was frosted, and I just like was enjoying just the normal, what would be mundane sights, just absolutely reveling in the day, just being so glad and grateful to be alive, you know. And when those days come, I try and not rein it in. I try and just take it all in. I try and drink it in because it's a beautiful thing. And it's not to say that I don't have a decisive, like I don't decide when that happens, but sometimes it feels like I don't always get to decide when those happen, you know. Sometimes you just wake up and that's how you feel. And I don't even believe it was like a matter of having slept perfectly well or like any of this shit. It was just like I just woke up and felt amazing. And it was brilliant. And the course of the day I just felt like whatever issues arose I could kind of confront and deal with, and even the example of the dance thing in the evening, it was daunting and I was anxious before, and at times I was like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing here. For context, the dance Sarok, it's like, I'm not really sure what describing use the word for it, but essentially, normally it's a male partner and a female partner, and the male has to lead. Like, the male has to, like, push and pull and then decide what is happening in the dance. And if you're a beginner, like me, and you don't know anything, and the beginner session they do at the start, they teach you 2 moves, it's like, when it gets to the bit where people are dancing in that, like freestyle, just kind of doing what you're doing, and I ask someone to dance or vice versa, I'm just like, look, here's the deal. I only know 2 moves, you know, the ones they just showed us. And luckily people were just super understanding and would even show me some different moves that obviously they'd been doing it for longer. So, but yeah, I just found it really rewarding, really fun. The people there were also very welcoming, and I think it's likely that I'll go again. I think it's very likely because, yeah, I think I just need to do more stuff like that. Just push my boundaries and do shit that I wouldn't do ordinarily. You know, I've set myself some New Year's resolutions. One of which is to slam dunk a basketball. I want to be able to cut back to this exact video as proof that I set that as a goal. I want to run a marathon. I've been teasing the idea in my head for a long time, and I just thought to myself, what if I just ran it, you know? And I thought, actually, not me, my friend Oshana, shout out if you're watching, lots of love. And she suggested to me that it could be a way of raising money for my graduate film, where I could like get people to sponsor me and, you know, make a cool, fun documentary style promo out of it and talk about my passion for film and my love for the world, you know, because I got a lot of love for the world, a lot of love for life right now. I was wondering to myself whether the fact that I'm going to Spain and I'm going to see my family soon is leaking into my subconscious, and that's like kind of creating a nice like foundation to the fuel for the fire. But in any case, that's just the way I'm feeling right now. Like this idea of like, and it, you know, there's, for example, today, I wasn't feeling, I would say, as elated, but I just still have felt overwhelmingly and tremendously positive. At a script writing session at uni where Kieran, my course leader, read my not very good script in front of a lot of my peers and absolutely diced it to shreds, you know, just critiqued every single part of it. And, you know, if this video series is any evidence of it, I like to think that I'm good with words, or it's important for my for my self-concept in my own head, I use the fact that I think that I'm good with words to be part of what I like about myself or what I admire about myself. And when it turns out that there's a context in which that's not necessarily true, and I need to improve, it's a little bit difficult, It felt like pulling teeth, but I am more than willing to acknowledge my faults and my mistakes when it comes to script writing. And at the end of the day, the reason why Kieran dissected and brutally critiqued my work is because he knows what I want to achieve as a filmmaker, and he wants to push me to be better. That's the matter, really. But yeah, that was a little bit difficult. And yet, nevertheless, afterwards, I was in an edit suite, just banging out Dave music and just editing it. I was like, yeah, I feel great about this. So even that momentary lapse of, not lapse, but even that momentary struggle of, being essentially having like open surgery in front of people to my work. Even after that, I felt great. I've had a very relaxed, pleasant, and blessed evening, and I'm just so joyous, so kind of grateful for the people I have around me. There's a lot of things in this life that that I'm grateful for, and I think one of the ones that I always come back to is the people in my life. I've managed to encounter so many different people from so many different backgrounds and ways of life and ways of being, and I just feel so glad. And I think even in times where I do feel uncertain about myself or the way I am or the world that I'm in, I always think that the fact that I'm surrounded by such good people, I use that as a reflection of the person I want to be, and the person that I feel like I am. Because if it so happens that I've managed to find a group of people, find a series of people that are so kind of good, kind, helpful, generous, considerate, understanding, all of these things. If I manage to find a group of people that to surround myself with that are like that, then I would hope that some of those qualities can apply to me as well. I've talked about before on this podcast that my theory about relationships, my theory about having people in your life is that there's a kind of subconscious or kind of implicit thing about being around people where when you're around someone, there's someone in your life that you want to spend a lot of time with, in my eyes, there's part of that is because there are qualities in that person that you admire. There's qualities in that person that you may not have in as high amount, or maybe there are things that you do in a different way that you wish you could do like them. And subconsciously we spend more time with them because we know that if we spend more time with them, we kind of become part of their lives, and vice versa, that we'll become more like them in that way. Everybody in my life who I spend a lot of time with, they'll have one or many traits that I admire, one or many traits that I aspire to have, and I'm constantly inspired and uplifted by those around me. I'm constantly blown away by how amazing the people in my life really are. Look at the monitors, looking a little bit washed out. Let's create some contrast. Is that better? I look a little bit more dry. I'm wondering if there's something on the whether it's alright, whatever. In any case, maybe I shouldn't be drawing attention to stuff like that. Is it just me, or the fairy light's looking hella bright? Yellow. Alright, let's just stick with that for now. I guess I've just been kind of running on essentially a very positive ramble about what's going on in my life. I'm looking forward to seeing my family this Christmas. I'm likely going back to Bristol tomorrow, or the day this video goes up, or today technically because it's past 12. Yeah, you get the gist. And so I'm looking forward to the Christmas holidays. I'm looking forward to going to Spain and seeing my family. I'm looking forward to the cold of Leon, the beautiful nights and seeing the street lights, and I'll make a cool ass Christmas montage. And I guess even though I've been really loving being in Salisbury, it's been absolutely tremendous. It's been beautiful, and I feel tremendously fulfilled and enriched here. Being in Spain is always a nice change of pace. It always feels like a reset for me, and And even though September is the start of the year for me, that's when the stuff really feels like it resets and changes. Going to a different country, forgetting about life here, or, you know, not necessarily forgetting, but disconnecting in a major way from life here, it's refreshing to me. It means that when I come back, I feel like I appreciate it more. And I guess it's just been part of the rhythm of my life for so long. You know, I looked back recently, like I was just recalling kind of previous years of having done stuff in the Christmas holidays, and I realized that a couple of years ago I didn't go to Spain in this period, and that was kind of so shocking to myself just to recall. I guess I'd blanked it out because overall the pattern has been that I go to Spain for 2 weeks during Christmas or a week during Christmas, you know, come hella high water. But that was one of those high water moments where I didn't go, and that was due to COVID. But you know, at the time, I was understanding of the fact that I was still very lucky to not suffer as much as many people did. I'll say that much. In any case, I'm looking forward to seeing the family so much. Maybe I have one of them on the pod. I'd love to. My aunt Susana definitely comes to mind. My uncle Valentin comes to mind. My aunt Modest comes to mind. You know, I'd quite like to do one with my brothers actually. This microphone, if I can put it to good use, because we can be a bit of a rambunctious trio. And to be honest, that's one of my favorite things about reuniting with the family. I love my family so much. I love every single part of my family in many different ways, but there's something about the bond that I have with my brothers that I think has become really emboldened and really strengthened in particularly like the last 2 years. I would hesitate to point to exactly what it was. I just think it's an amazing phenomenon how when we were kids, you know, 3 brothers, like all 3 of us are within 4 years of age, you know, so between my younger brother and my older brother, there's less than 4 years between them. And, you know, despite like very loving household, incredibly giving, understanding, and, you know, I'd say overall caring parents, loving parents. Oftentimes, because you're all in the same space and you're kind of occupying the same space, you're sharing stuff, you know. There was a lot of conflict between us, you know. I remember so many evenings I go to bed and I think about either of my brothers. I think, fucking hate that guy so much. I never want to fucking see that guy's face again, you know. And naturally, you're spending so much time with each other that you kind of got to make up. You kind of got to deal with those. And it'd always be about the most petty squabbles as well. I'd hesitate to recall anything that was like actually anything super serious, but I guess when you're a kid and you're going through these transition phases, a lot of stuff feels more serious than perhaps it might have been at the time. But yeah, that's the way things were. And then there's this tweet that I really like that said, having a sibling is like fighting with someone for 15 years and one day you wake up and go, this motherfucker all right. And that's just the way it was. I think things got less tense and kind of more caring between us when my older brother went away for uni. I say that with love, but I just think in the sense that we had a little bit more space between us, and that meant when we all came together again that we appreciated it more. And you know, when I see my brothers now, I appreciate it so much. Like I look back and I know I took it for granted. I know that I should have appreciated it more, and because there's no turn back on the clock, there's no going back. I appreciate them so much now. And it would have been this time last year, during the Christmas holidays, so not exactly, where we were staying in this place in Spain with my family, and me and my younger brother share a room because oftentimes if the room has 2 beds, you know, we'll pair off like that. And my older brother got a bigger room by himself with a big, nicer bed, and he dragged the mattress into the room that we were sleeping in so we could all hang out together and talk before we went to sleep. And I won't even explain why. I'm not going to explain it, but the 3 of us, we were just in the room late at night, and my younger brother makes a comment, and me and my older brother were laughing so hard that we were struggling to breathe. We were just like, and the conversation that ensued has like lasted and pertained in the kind of mythos of our brotherhood conversations and brotherly conversations, and And that evening stands out as one of the best memories of my entire life. We would make a remark and we would be howling with laughter. And this was late at night. So we'd be like, my cousins Irene and Rodrigo would be sleeping next door, and we would just be like, just like underneath the covers, like struggling so hard not to just erupt with riotous laughter. And that's, I always look back at that so fondly. Back at that so fondly. I just look at them fondly, you know. I don't know who I'd be without them. I don't know. I can't conceive of a life. I can't conceive of a way of being where they weren't such a huge formative part of who I am. You know, I think I only really I'm able to understand myself and the way that I grew up with them in context because they spent so much of that time with me. You know, again, another thing that I can remain tremendously grateful for, and that's the thing, is I like to think of myself as a grateful person, but literally a few days ago I was kind of made aware by someone close to me that there's still many things that I'm overlooking. There's still many things that I'm taking for granted. You know, I was expressing frustration that I wasn't able to go to the gym or do certain things because of my physical state of, you know, having a cold. Not a big deal, but at the time it felt like it. I feel like that's a bit of a running theme with me. But in any case, I was expressing some frustration at that, and it was kind of brought to my attention that, like, you know, I'm lucky to be able to talk to you in this video. I'm lucky that I can breathe, I can talk, I can move my body, I can, you know, I have agency, I have ability to do what I want to do. There's so much stuff that I'm overlooking. There's so much stuff that I can be more grateful for, and just because I'm grateful for a lot for the stuff that I'm aware of, that doesn't mean that I'm, you know, utilizing gratitude to my maximum capacity. You know, I think that's what that learning moment was for me, is that being grateful for the things that you know to be grateful for is one thing. And I try, and I feel like I've done a good job of pushing that to as much as possible. But I think this new frontier of gratitude is something that I also seek to explore in the new year. Something that I really want to explore in the new year is exploring this new frontier of gratitude. The question is, and this is a rhetorical question, not only to myself, but in a sense to you, the audience, and myself watching the edit, naturally. The question is how can I be more watchful for things that I'm overlooking? How can I like not take things for granted and continue to be grateful in a new and in almost like in an inventive way? How can I invent new gratitude? How can I discover new gratitude that I had previously left uncovered? That's going to be part of my journey. That's going to be part of the version of me that will continue, and that will be part of the way that I seek to maximize and capitalize on the joy and enjoyment of the harmony of life. And I don't know, I guess there's certain times in my life where, because everybody's going through different stuff, I don't necessarily feel like I want to just like parade about that I'm doing so well and feeling so happy. But I know that the people in my life that want me to do well will be so glad. And, you know, the people that don't, I'm not going to care about their opinion. So that's just that, isn't it? In any case, I'm grateful for everything, except from the stuff that I need to be more aware of. I guess that's the moral of the story. In any case, thank you very much for watching. I hope that this has been rewarding in some way. And yeah, if there's anything you think I'm overlooking, if there's anything that you think I'm not grateful enough for, call me out on it. Contact me directly. Comment below this video. Do whatever you think is right, because if there's a new thing that I can be grateful for, if there's something that I wasn't aware that I could give more gratitude to, I'm certain that will make my life richer. And maybe that's the case for you. Peace.
About to recover my zen, getting rolled at a turn of your words. Run at the meat and my steamer is broke. Fuck the oblique turn, peak of the soul. Please never know what's about to recover my zen, getting rolled at a turn of your words.
Witches in my head, wishing that we could waste what whisk up the eggplant, pie, even salad dragon. Whole country.